You can type their answer.
Yeah, do chat. Yeah, yeah. So if in chat, can you just state the reason, just be brutally honest, I don't really care. Just state why you're in the course, right? So you could say, I'm a social science major, so I need this, or you could just say, I wanted the class. You could say, I had you for a different class, I want to be taking this class. I'm a business major, I'm not sure why I'm taking this class. I don't care what the reason is, but it helps me scale, right? If none of you, well, I know it's not true, but if none of you said you were an econ major, then I know how to scale the material. If 3/4 of you say I'm a business major, then I'll know use lots of business applications. So it just helps me figure it out. That's true, Elijah. Yes, that is true. Okay. Yes. Good, Russell. That's good of you, man. Okay. It's giving me a good sense. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Does make good sense here. Okay. Okay. So here is what my plan is. I'm going to keep to, at least for these next few weeks, I want to make sure that I'm still logging in at 5 o'clock on Thursdays. So even if you can't attend, these kinds of things will be recorded. But I think the thing I've been trying to think through this week is what's the best use of your time, right? Like, I don't want to just make you jump through a hoop of having a class if there's no point to it. So let me share my screen. Okay, so here's what I want. I'm going to talk about the syllabus today, but I want to actually start by talking about topics. So this course can be basically broken down into 11 topics. And so the purpose of this course is that you would have taken 131, Introduction to Macroeconomics, already, but typically we don't get very far into the material in that course. So this is kind of an extension of that. But I don't ever really think that anyone remembers what they did in 131, even if you took it in the spring, that you'd remember what you did. So that's why the first week or two is kind of spent reviewing everything. And then each of these topics, these 11 topics, many of them we kind of touched on them in principles, and they'll generally start off with this is what you kind of could remember from principles, and then it extends it. So here's the interesting thing that we have going on. So let me just pick a lecture here. Actually, let me do two things here. No, let me go here. So let me just pick something like the monetary system. So if you click on a topic, what you'll see are, I've got slides, right? So in these cases, most of these cases, except this one for some weird reason, I actually made the slides. This one, for some reason, I did not. I totally stole it from someone else. But when I taught this class 2 years ago, it was actually taught, half the class was in person and half the other students were on different islands. So we actually had to do, we had to have an owl in the classroom that recorded every lecture. So what I did is I actually uploaded each of those videos last night. So these videos are really long, but basically, at some point, right, we did topic 3 when I last taught this class in 2018, so 3 semesters ago when it was taught. So it's 2.5 hours, right, which you're seeing and you're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna watch a 2.5 hour video. But kind of the point is that it could be there. It can be there and it can replicate the whole lecture. We'll have to decide. And I'll put out a poll and just so we can kind of figure out what you want to do. Like, do you want me to say to you all, this is going to be the way you get the slides, but when we all log in together on Thursdays at 5, I kind of try to summarize things. I try to answer questions. You know, like maybe we wouldn't have to go the whole time, or I could use some of that time to cover Bloomberg, which is kind of my pet little project. I like that project a lot. You know, trying to think of what else. I mean, there's lots of other things we could do in the at the 5 o'clock in that 5 o'clock time period. Um, unless you, well, let's go back to chat. What does remote control do? Oh, I could give someone else control. How cool is that? Elijah, I'm giving you control of my screen. What are you gonna do? It's kind of fun. Don't close the window. Don't close the window. Wait, can I get it back? Oh yeah, I think I can get it back. Can't I? Yeah, I can. Wait, no, I can't get it back. Or is it a?
Why did you do that?
I have no idea. Never done it before.
You have to fight for control with the mouse.
It's kind of fun, actually. It's kind of.
It trapped
I don't
my
know. Maybe
mouse on my screen.
I've been probably playing a lot of Wii, so I'm in this competitive mode, you know. Okay, let's go back to Zoom. Okay, so here's the question I'd like you to just to briefly think about. So how would you like me to treat, I know I kind of asked this in Qualtrics, but now that I know I have actually, so the way that, let me show you this, I guess. Let me show it to you this way. So if I went in here and I played this, I'm going to take off the audio here. So basically, in the beginning, you're going to see the students. There's Cash. There I am. You can kind of see the screen, but kind of the point is that you're going to have, right, in this 2.5-hour lecture, you're going to be hearing my audio, right, me talking about each of the slides. And you're going to get the slides like this, right? So you'd be able to go to that slide and you'd be able to hear me. Well, it'll sound better than me doing it through this. But you should be able to hear the audio for each of these slides. That would then mean you've got a full, actual, legit, as intended, 2.5-hour lecture. But we could then spend our class time doing other interesting things. And you would know that this always exists, because I guess I'm trying to think of this from your perspective as a student, right? Your objective obviously is to learn some material, but for most of you, right, you want to do well on the homeworks and the exams so that you get a good grade. There's nothing against that objective, I don't think, by any means. So that would mean that just like anything, you would get a homework assignment or you would get an exam, and then you use the slides, you use the internet, you use whatever to try to do your best on the exams and homework assignments, right? If this is always there and you know this is always there, you could try to find my part in the audio in the YouTube lecture where I talk about that question I'm going to ask you. I don't know, that's just my idea. Because then, if you said that this is okay for the lecture, having that YouTube video, then what I would do is when we would log in at 5, I would talk, just like for those of you who've had me for other classes, I would talk about news of the week, like an interesting story I read this week that I think is affecting the money market, the equity markets, or the economy. And I probably would talk about that for 15 to 20 minutes. It wouldn't be ever anything that's on the exam. It would not be anything you could be totally tuning out and just log in at 5:20 if you didn't want to hear that part. But most of the time, it's just relevant for your life after you graduate. It's useful to think about things in that kind of way. And then at that point, I would ask if anyone's, in watching the slides or in seeing the video, does anyone have any questions about any material in particular? Probably no one will say anything. So then what I'll do is probably do I don't know, like a 10-minute overview of the entire topic without going into any great deep detail. And then I would probably try to find one or two things that students have found particularly difficult in other semesters and try to talk about that for a little bit. And then you would either then have questions, or I would then spend our precious time doing some things with the equity markets or income markets and doing some things on Bloomberg in terms of like investing and finance. That would be kind of my plan. It should meet everyone's needs, I would think, unless you're taking this class as a hardcore economist who only wants economics out of it. You might find it a little bit disappointing, but I can tell you for a fact that multiple sections. Why is my son being so quiet? Where the hell did he go? Hey, Pierce. That can't be good. Oh, there you are. Oh, shit, he fell asleep. Okay, wait. 1 second. He fell asleep on the floor. 1 second, everybody. Okay, I'm back. I guess just like many of you who would fall asleep during my lecture, it's not unique to you. It's also, instead of me driving around in the car at night, I should just start talking. Okay. I don't know. That's my plan. If you have strong objections to what I just indicated I would do, this would be your perfect time to do it. Hopefully there'll be a chance so when we can actually go back to being in person. In terms of what would be on the exam, it's take home, so it's nothing you'd ever have to be surprised by. The homework assignments, this is what I'll leave. This will be actually a useful function for the Cody just added. How do you want to do the homeworks? In other semesters, I've done it where I bunched up all of the homework assignments for all the topics to being due, this kind of like longer problem set being due right before each exam. Would you like to have homework assignments instead for each topic and just have them all due, like have them be multiple choice homework assignment, or would you like to have like numeric problems? I guess that's my question. Do you want multiple choice questions, or do you want like solving it kind of like short answer math kinds of questions? Tell me in the chat what you would like. Would you like multiple choice questions that are designed for each topic, or would you like really big problem sets and just one before each exam? Looks like lots of, okay, well, at least a combination. Ooh, combination. Yeah, that's a good option. Multiple choice, multiple choice, multiple choice. Any, okay. No one is saying none of the above, but okay.
That was an option?
Okay. Actually, I can think of actually a pretty good a good way to merge this. I could add some short answer questions to the multiple choice questions. And what I could do is, even though there'd be a homework assignment for each topic, I could just make them all due before the exam. Kind of like how, for those of you who've had me for principals, kind of like how I do for principals, where I just make them due before the exam. I would do that for this. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Let's go over the syllabus. So here, get rid of this. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of this here. No. Whose mic is that? Is he talking about the music that's going on in the background? Is that what you're referring to? That's my son, the pianist, Truman Scheiding. He should have a tip jar. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the... Okay.
I think it's coming from one of the students.
Really quickly here. As I said to you all, I am on campus, but I'm on campus from like midnight to like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So if any of you come into my office, you're a creeper and a stalker, because you shouldn't be on campus at 5 in the morning. You should just email me. I'm very good with email. I'm not as good about calling, especially since I'm in the office at a weird time as it is. So there's not a lot of point to being there then. This is a very short catalog description, which makes it amazing that 17 of you signed up for it, given that pretty bad description. Thank God everything else is filled up. I suspect that's the only reason why some of you are in this class, which I don't care. I'm not going to be a chooser about that kind of thing. Okay, so each of the exams are going to be worth 40%. Your problem sets and papers are going to be worth 20%. So there's not really any papers unless you want to do them. This would be basically our assignments would be worth 20%. The assignments would have content that's similar that would prepare you adequately for the exams. These are not in-class exams. You can thank COVID for that. These will just be take-homes. I'll give them to you generally a week, at least. I'll give you at least 1 week to complete the exams. So whenever I complete the exam and send it out to everyone, you would then have a week from that point to complete it. So you should have more than enough time. And we only have 2 exams. So basically one's going to be in October and the other one will be in December. And as for the textbook, you know, I don't know why everyone dislikes Russia, because you know what they're really good at? They're really good at stealing copyrighted books. This is I did the, I don't know, I just have this problem. M. Gregory Mankiw, he's a really rich guy. He's made a lot of money because he writes the macroeconomics book that almost everyone uses. So he doesn't need the money. I'm using an older edition of the book, which I'm sure none of you are going to violently object to. So I posted that PDF. If you, in the Walima site, if you go to textbook, I found a Russian site that had the entire textbook. I downloaded it to my school-owned computer. That way, if it broke, it wasn't my fault. I don't have to bear the consequences, at least. This is the entire PDF. I'm going to take this tab down in about a week. I don't want to leave it up for someone to complain about. So you can download this PDF pretty easily. If you're on an Apple computer like I have here, you would just click on those little arrows for tools and you would click download. If you have trouble doing that, send me an email. Maybe I'd even try to email it to you, or Google Drive, Dropbox it to you or something. You should just download the book. Even if you don't think you're going to use it, just download it. It's pretty good to have. And you don't need to go out and buy a book. Unless you really want to buy one, then tell me and I'll tell you the ISBN number. But I undoubtedly will think you're crazy for insisting on buying a book that's probably about $200. And we got our classroom policies and learning challenges and accommodations and the Noyau Center. All of these are things you can read. Basically, most of you, if you know that, if you've been around campus long enough, which most of you should have been, everything should be pretty straightforward. Classroom policies, just let's treat each other kindly, right? Like, I know, I mean, I'll say up here, I say things like, under no circumstances will I ever let you do something late. For any of you who've ever had me for anything, you would know this is a bunch of hot air. Like, if anyone, I'm usually a person that lets everyone sign up for do stuff late. But try not to, okay? Don't overstay your welcome on doing things late. These dates are pretty set in stone. So if you know you already want to drop it by September 1st. You know, September 15th, you can still get half your money back. And then November 2nd, you could still withdraw. For learning challenges and accommodations, I'm not sure they would really apply for most of you in this class because things are not going to be timed in terms of the homework and the exams. My videos will be closed captioned if you need that. My slides should be pretty descriptive, but if anyone has any trouble accessing anything, just let me know. Don't discriminate. Again, be nice to each other. Code of conduct and academic honesty. I will say this about academic honesty. I am fully, even with the multiple choice questions and even the exam, I would certainly expect that you will talk to others in the class. I suspect you will try to find and see if Chegg's got the answer or Quizlet's got the answer. I'm well aware that these things exist. I don't really care how you learn the material. All I care about is that you learn the material. So, you know, even on homework assignments, you might be able to Quizlet and check things there and get through it, maybe okay. And don't think that I don't know how to use Chegg and Quizlet. Like, I can certainly type my own questions in and see if they pop back out on the other side. Use them. I mean, someone's making big money off of you for those services. Use it, and if you get a good answer from it, certainly try to use it. And, you know, one, you better hope that the answer is actually correct, and two, know that you're probably going to get probably not going to help you on the exam as much as it would on the homework assignments. So the only way that I could see you actually violating the academic honesty policy would be is if you hatch a plan to break into my office and steal the exam. I was going to say steal the exam answer key, but usually I don't even make an answer key. Usually I just like grade it and I know the answer in my head. So I can't even say steal the answer key. I don't have one. Here's our grading scale that's given to us by the university. I will say here, the scale that's used is generally relative to everyone else in the class. So you could be doing 70% work, but if we're in a class full of dummies and you're all 70% students, then you would obviously, if you also got 70%, then you'd be among the smartest in the class and you'd get an A. And then we have our topics. We should actually be able to keep on time to the extent that we stay online, because you would be watching lectures online and I would have no way to slow us down. Now, what's not on the syllabus, but which I am going to use in this class, is something that's related to, I'm going to start creating this as a separate LaLima course, and I'm going to add you all to that LaLima course. But in my other course that meets on Tuesday, of which some of you are already in, I'm teaching this class called Certification in Analysis. And you could still sign up for it if you really wanted to, but basically in this course, I'm training you to be kind of like junior financial analysts. And one of the things that we have, which I was hoping we'd be able to use in the class, is this thing called Bloomberg Market Concepts. And what Bloomberg Market Concepts does is that this year, for this entire academic year, and quite honestly, I don't know, I'm sure UH is going to say they have no money to keep it going after this year. But for this year, we have Bloomberg terminals on campus. You are all free to use them. In fact, Elijah, who's in the class, Cody, who's in our class, they're actually both lab managers for it, even though they don't exactly know how to use it all themselves right now. They will soon. But you could actually become certified to use a Bloomberg terminal. What does a Bloomberg terminal look like? Like if you've ever seen a stock market movie, it's those like two screens side by side, and it basically tells you what's going on in the equity markets, the stock markets, the bond markets, commodities, treasuries, like any kind of market you want to know about, the Bloomberg terminals tell you about it. So you can take 8 hours of modules and you can become certified to use Bloomberg terminals. And in fact, if you come up with some innovative project that uses the Bloomberg terminals in some really cool way, and if you want to take available this option, I'll allow you to not take an exam and replace it with some sort of Bloomberg project that you conceive of in your mind and get it approved by me. I will certainly let you replace one or even both exams with some sort of Bloomberg projects, just because I think you'll learn just as much from Bloomberg as you would learn from the exams. But to do that, you would need to know how to use these terminals. To do that, I'm going to have to walk you through how to use these terminals. That'd be done in the lab, but it would also be done, you'd also be doing it virtually. So virtually, you'll still be able to set up a Bloomberg login and you'll be able to start working on the system. I'm just creating the LaLima sites now that will walk you through that. I know some of you might be pretty interested in that. Truman, could you tell mommy that Pierce is sleeping? Okay, where was I? Let me go back to this here. Okay. So we'll do quite a bit of stuff on the Bloomberg terminals if you want. So technically that's not in the course. So that's why you could be a person, right? Like Will could be like, dude, I totally don't care anything about Bloomberg. And you don't have to do it. You just have to do the material. But you could be like Russell and be like, dude, that's the reason why I'm taking this class. Outside of doing the homework assignments, which then makes sure that I don't get in trouble for making the course something different than it is, I also could just spend all of this time on Bloomberg, come up with 2 really innovative, cool projects using Bloomberg, just do the homework assignments, and that would also count the same. So I'm trying to give you some flexibility, especially since some of you said you're finance majors. This would be your only chance this year to use this. So get the certification, right? Because it's out there waiting for you to take it. Dude, Cody, you look so relaxed right now. I'm just scrolling through the videos. Cody, you look super relaxed.
Pretty relaxed. I'd
Yeah.
say the bright side of this online class is that I could be in
Is that
class
big
on my
energy
bed.
drink too right behind you?
It is. It's a warm monster. It's from my class earlier today.
Chance, doesn't he look relaxed? I mean, I built this IKEA desk and it was done by ages, so it showed like a little toddler like using this desk, and it went all the way up to teenager, and the teenager's like wearing glasses, like kicking back in his chair, feet are on the desk. Cody, that's what you look like. You look like the teenager in an
I
IKEA
need an
catalog.
IKEA photographer right here so that I could be on the next model,
Yeah, exactly. You give me my
the next
IKEA.
catalog.
You
Yeah.
give me the IKEA. You'll be that guy with the big fat face. He's like, I wonder how to put this together.
I think I could sell some furniture.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
some modular furniture, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's basically the course here. So basically, what your homework would be for this upcoming week would be that you would take a look at the La Lima site, see what I've already kind of posted in there. Know that next week I'll be kind of doing a general review of the material. And that this week I'll also work on putting together all the stuff on Bloomberg. And who are you going? You're going outside? Okay. Don't you guys miss that, your youth? I mean, you could just say you're going outside, and I'll probably see you in 2 hours from now, probably. Maybe with a bruise or two. Anyway, we'll do some review, but there'll be the videos on there. You can watch them or not, but they're about 2.5 hours long. So if you're just the kind of student that just wants to look at the slides and you want to watch a lecture that's kind of going over the slides, you totally can make this your kind of course. Otherwise, if you're the kind of person that's saying like, I kind of want to spend more time on Bloomberg, that's going to be, I'm going to start getting all that together here this coming week or two. We're just kind of delayed. The what? Okay, don't leave it outside, and don't hit anyone with it. It's right there. Did you tell? Sorry, everyone. Truman, did you tell Mom that Pierce is sleeping? Go tell. Did you tell her, or you did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. If you want to make this a Bloomberg-centric class, though, for yourself, you can do that. I'd ask that you still log in on Thursdays at 5 just to kind of keep up with the material. But since you're doing the Bloomberg stuff, that'd be a perfect time to tell the rest of us of what you're working on, and that could prompt us to all talk about those things as well. Good. I see some of you on chat are saying you want to do something Bloomberg-centric. So if that's the case, we got 2 here. Russell, I'm going to assume that you would be that kind of person too. If we get enough people, let's say at least 5 people, I'll actually create a formal document that could outline for you how you could make it a Bloomberg-centric, but still econ content kind of class. Perfect. Okay, we've got. I think we'd have enough here. Okay, we're at about 5:37 here. I don't feel a strong need to go the entire time. If you don't need to, but basically, if you still want to drop this class, you now would know enough about this class to know whether you want to keep it or not. It's the only note of caution I'll say for everyone is that just because everyone's now on this 2-week break, we've got 3 Bloomberg terminals installed at this point. We're waiting for the other 9 to be installed. I don't know if the stay-at-home order is going to delay the physical installation of the other 9. So there may be like a 2-week delay in getting the other 9 to be used, but there's some workarounds, I think, too. We have to activate this disaster recovery plan that gets us to use them virtually, because typically you have to physically be present with the terminals. We're obviously going to go around that, as are all other universities. So if you're doing the Bloomberg route, just know there might be a little bit of a delay, but you'd still be able to do that Bloomberg market concepts thing I showed you, just the 8 hours of modules. I think you'd be able to do that relatively soon. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say, but I guess I would just say to everyone, is everyone kind of clear with what my expectations are for this course? The basic expectation is, if you can, log in at 5 on Thursdays. It will be recorded, but it's best if you're there. If only because if you're not, I'll know you're not. And if you find yourself in a position where you're going to need a favor from me, well, obviously the favors go to those who I know. And if I've never seen you outside of this first day, it's harder to be, I don't have an attendance policy, but it's harder for me to be sympathetic to someone I don't know. Okay. I don't want to keep everyone longer than I need to. So I'm going to keep populating the La Lima site. If some of you logged in earlier in the week and didn't see very much there, I'd encourage you to go look at it again, because last night I really started populating things. And then from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. La Lima shuts down, which is unfortunate for me because that's in the middle of my work day. So I'll kind of get back to work on it tonight. And then I'm going to really start working on a new La Lima site called Bloomberg Market Concepts. And as a default, I'm going to add you all to the course. You can take advantage of it if you want to. If you don't want to, don't. But if you do get the certification and all you do is the certification, but you still want to take the econ type exams, I'll give you some extra credit for doing the 8 hours of modules. So I'll make it to your advantage. And plus it's something you can put on your resume regardless. So there's still something for you in it. Okay, I've got nothing more to say. So if you've got something to say, you can either put it in the chat, you can stay logged in here. I'll log out when the final person logs out. That way I know no one's got any questions. But if you want to log out, this would be your time to log out. Otherwise, I'll see you all next Thursday. But I'll wait on and I'll log off last, just in case anyone has questions.
Ending Zoom meetings are always awkward.
Dude, Cody, you look so relaxed, man. You look so chill. What'd you do this summer?
What did I do this summer? A whole lot of nothing. I've watched a few shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm proud to say that or not. It's definitely a lot of time wasted watching it. But
Yeah.
that's how I spent my summer. You know, I guess they say time spent having fun is not time wasted, so I guess I didn't waste my time.
That's good, I guess.
What did you do?
I taught 3 classes. So I taught a lot in the first session. Then I got a article submitted to a journal. And then I started putting together these courses. Usually I go on vacation for a little bit, but I didn't leave the island, so I didn't go on vacation. So,
Have you, since you were teaching summer classes, have you like noticed the DOE like scrambling more and more?
So my son, so Truman, so he goes to private school during the year, but we actually did DOE summer school since everything was Zoom, even the private school years out. So I was like, why should I spend $700 for virtual Zoom when I could spend like, I don't even remember what the summer DOE one was, like $25 or, something really, I'm token amount. I don't know, I think he's getting better at using Zoom and he's getting better at using a Chromebook. It's funny, in my lower level classes, I use Flipgrid, which I'd never used before, but apparently he uses Flipgrid all the time.
I never heard of it.
Let's see here. Someone's asking about how to find 398B. So 398B.
Oh, I think they left already. Sorry. I explained it though.
Okay.
How to find it.
Okay. I'll send out an email to everyone though too, just in case.
I just wanted to ask
Yeah.
about Bloomberg and then how it relates to investments and stocks. So in general, is Robinhood an okay app to use for starting?
Yeah, for starting out. I mean, if you only have like a few $100s and you just want cheap investing, it is, but there's a lot of pitfalls to it. I'd say the biggest pitfalls to it are one, Robinhood is designed to make you trade more because they do actually make money on the trade, even though they're not charging you. You're paying you're not paying like the market best price. So you're kind of paying for it indirectly by paying a higher share price than you could get if you're using someone else. They make money on the money you have sitting in your cash account before it's invested. They make money in other ways. So the way that Robinhood makes money is they have to gamify investing, right? So you see green arrows, red arrows.
Can I just get one more thing?
Where's your other thing?
My one, it's outside.
Who's using it?
Ready? I'm just gonna have one gun.
Make sure you bring both back and make sure Freddie is old enough, mature enough not to hurt anyone else with it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, I mean, Robinhood's good to start with, but if, you know, and it's good to learn about the markets in general. But, you know, for instance, for like myself, you know, let's just say I have a non-trivial amount of assets. So I wouldn't put it in Robinhood because that would just seem, you know, that would just seem silly. But it's a great way to start. It's trying to understand how markets work and maybe lose some money, maybe make some money, you know, but it'd be kind of uncertain. Anything you make would be very little. Anything you lose, well, it could be your whole amount, but hopefully you're not doing it that badly. And you can trade most things on Robinhood. I mean, you can't be trading commodities, but almost anything in the equity market side is out there.
Well, I don't know.
And so what you would do is use Bloomberg to get all the data you need to figure out what to buy. Because in Bloomberg, you can't actually buy things or sell things. And so you'd use that information to then go into Robinhood and then buy and sell.
Okay. No, because I just started using it. I asked you about this in the beginning of the year. And then you said, or I said that I was gonna buy some stocks when the market kind of depressed and it's at it. And then you said it's not at its lowest point, but I've been watching it over the past few months, and it's kind of like stagnant now.
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to say because you know what, the pullback was obviously very severe in March, but the resumption of it was very, very quick as well, much faster than anyone expected. And it's hard to say what's motivating it. It's hard to say if it's being motivated by all these people at home using Robinhood and with their stimulus check, and they're just buying things that they otherwise wouldn't. It's really kind of hard to say. I mean, I bought some things in March, but I actually have more cash left over that I thought I was actually going to be able to deploy like in April or May, but by then prices were already going back up again. So I mean, really the last time I bought, well, no, I take that back. I did sell some things. So Cody, you would appreciate this. So I did sell my holdings in American and in Hawaiian. I picked airlines that I thought had the weakest cash positions that wouldn't be able to ride it out to 2024. So I still have Southwest and Delta, but I think they have cash positions or a route network that's resilient enough to get them to 2024. Cody, do you
Bloomberg would provide that info as well with like
well, exactly. So that's how I was able to find that, right? So I can look at their current balance sheet, I can look at their liquidity, I can look at their bond offerings. So in the bond offerings, those are always very important to look at because in the bond offering that the new bond offerings that they make, they have to reveal their present financial condition. And so you can look in there and see, right? So like the big one that affected me as a state employee is that the governor kept saying, no, we're not going to lay anyone off. There's no furloughs. Nothing's going to happen. But the state of Hawaii had to issue a bond about 2 weeks ago. And in that bond offering, they had to say in November, we plan to furlough workers, right? So then the union found out and everyone was like, oh my God, everyone's getting all upset and you never told us. Because in the bond offering, they can't lie. So But so in Bloomberg, so in Robinhood, you can't look at a bond offering. That's proprietary information. It's too costly for a free
They
service.
have on
But
Robinhood. I know it's not like big, but they say they have market 2 level data, and I don't know what that is when you buy the premium Robinhood. I know it's not worth it to buy it, but I'd like to know what
yeah, it's
market 2
not. So
is.
the market data you're getting there is that none of the quotes are delayed. You're getting some extra information about there, like some of the, um, let's say like the 10Ks and things like that. You're getting some extra things there. And I think they even pay you some interest on some of your cash balances, but it's not worth it because you can get all that market tool data from Bloomberg for free now that you know how to use the terminals. Once you know how to use the terminals. And plus, again, you can log into it at home. You can stay logged into Bloomberg. I don't care if you stay logged in 24/7. You know, you can,
That's cool.
there's nothing that stops you from doing that.
So what do you have any updates on the terminals or when the job posting will be
Yeah, so
up?
the job posting, for the job posting, I wrote the job description. The pay is there. We know how much the people would get. You'd get, I think, 13 something an hour, because
Yeah,
technically
it's
you
fine.
were going to be opening a lab, but since there's no lab, you're just going to be available virtually for students that want to ask you questions. But in the beginning, all you're going to need to know is how do you log in? How do you create an ID? So the idea would be something like if Will comes to you and says, I want to be able to learn how to use this, I don't even have an ID, you'd be able to get on like a Zoom call with him, for instance, and walk him through how to set up an ID and get logged in and do all that.
Okay.
Now, become especially important as I keep promoting this to people that aren't in my classes, right? Who know they want to use it, but they don't know anything about it. I'll probably just be referring them to you, to Elijah, and to Jasmine to be able to do it, to doing it.
Yeah. And then
And so
that
when I expect that
investment
job
group.
will be available, the nice thing about it is that you're actually not losing out on any money because we already know what the set budget is. So even though we're kind of just waiting, the job can't technically start until we have all the terminals installed. So even if there's a delay though, it just means we have extra money that I could pay you in the beginning of the summer, when if the money ran out, then I can't pay you in the beginning of the summer. So in some sense, among the three of you, you're going to all figure out, right? If you just want to split it up evenly, third, then you're each going to put in a third of the hours, right? Whereas if Elijah just says, dude, I don't really care that much, I'm just going to put in the minimal, then, right, you and Jasmine can do like 90% and he can do 10. I don't care. I really don't care as long as you tell me so I know how to
Yeah.
sign off on the time cards.
And you don't care like the hours that we put in, like
No,
because
you
the
just have
stocks
to.
open at like 3:30 here. What if I
Yeah, no, you
logged
need to
in?
tell me, right? So if a student comes to you at 9 p.m., especially when we're virtual, I don't care. Just note how long you spent, and um, you know, that would be the easiest way to do it. Then once we have the actual um, laboratory open, there'll be set times that the lab is open, and you would have some of those hours where you physically would be there. But the idea is that I want to make some people then available virtually after hours when you can't be on campus, right? So you could even just say
Okay.
to Jasmine and Elijah, I want to be the virtual person, right? You and Elijah, Jasmine and Elijah, you guys are going to be the in-person. I don't care how you three work it out, quite honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there'll have to be some
Um.
set hours that will have to staff it, but outside of that, if we can get the coverage as broad as possible, let's say, so that you're covering, I don't know, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and there's actually some use, that's great. I mean, that's fine by me.
Okay. Yeah.
So that'll
Hours
all
should be no
start.
problem.
So
I think
that'll
that's fine.
all, I suspect here in the coming weeks, that'll all be available and be there.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Sounds
Good.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I'm excited about it. Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else.
Is this giving you notifications when I click these things?
No, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you're raising your hand. Yeah, you're raising your hand.
Oh, okay. I thought it would just do something crazy. Okay.
I'll try to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know how to use. Oh, I can give you a reaction. Cody, you and I think alike, I guess.
Wait, how do you do that?
Yeah.
No, go to
I
reactions
don't,
on the bottom.
there's only 6 reactions you could choose.
Oh, got
I only
you.
get 2. Clap,
Oh, you only have
thumbs
2?
up, and clap. That's
Wow.
it.
That one.
You can't even give us hearts.
You can't be negative at all, actually. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I needed to know about the Bloomberg stuff, I guess.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna show you some, or can I show you what my Robinhood portfolio looks like later, and then you can just tell me.
Show me. Yeah. You want to
Give
show
me
me
some-
now or you want to show me later?
Yeah, I mean, I
Well, what
would.
you could do too, you could do screenshots. So do screenshots and then text it to me. Do you want to
Okay,
do that?
yeah, I'll send you pictures of what I have.
And then I need to file the forms for last semester.
Mhm.
If you just want to just say we just do it based on the work I gave you and you just want to settle for the grade I gave you, I can file it tonight or tomorrow. Or you can aspire to a greater grade. I know Christiane did the summer class with me and she ended up, getting a pretty great grade. It just kind of depends on what kind of work you want to put into it.
Okay. No, I'm down. I don't know. I'll explain some personal stuff to you later, but yeah, I'm 100% down to do whatever, including previous work.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know by text. Even if I don't reply, I'm still reading things. Hey, does the Corolla still work?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I want to show you a picture because my brother got the tint done.
Really?
All the grime off, and he's gonna repaint it. Actually, I know it's crazy, but our neighbor is gonna he offered like $250, and he'd sand it and repaint the whole thing. So it's gonna
Listen
look
to this,
crazy.
Cody. So Cody, Will's brother brought my old Corolla, right? It wasn't like a coupe. It wasn't a
I've heard
junky
stories.
car, but it was like a, it was a great starter car, right? It wasn't gonna, not gonna turn any heads. It's not gonna surprise.
Was it a great starter
anyone.
car or a good starter car?
It's a no drama starter car, right? It's not gonna blow up. It's not gonna
It's not going to harm you in any way.
steering
Okay.
all of a sudden
That's
while you're
good.
driving. But at the same time, right, he's not picking up the honeys with this car either. There's no, unless he added a loud muffler to it, there's nothing fantastic about it. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see
Well,
it.
now
But
maybe it is. I don't know.
wait.
Actually.
Where is it? Where'd it go? Why am I doing this wrong? There we go.
It's stolen. Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
yes, it's like an average Corolla.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
It's like
that
a
Corolla.
Hawaiian Corolla now, though, with it tinted.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But our neighbors are gone for like 3 months, so they told him to just park it there the whole time. So he even has premium parking. Look at that.
Did he keep the unique paint job on it?
Oh, you mean all the grime and stuff?
Yeah, the weird blue color it is. Did he keep the weird blue color?
No, yeah. It's not painted. It's just whatever you had on it was just scrubbed off. So
It got scrubbed off.
yeah, the whole color was different than.
Oh, I know. No, when I bought the car originally, I bought it from the original owner. He bought the car and he couldn't get it in any color other than white, but he really wanted blue. So he bought the car white, and the first thing he did the moment he bought it was that he got it painted blue. But he didn't get it like professionally painted blue. He did it like, some neighbor or something did it, because if you opened the doors, the inside of the doors was white. And if you rubbed it just hard enough, it was white. So you're saying your brother just rubbed it all off?
No, so the blue is there, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna do
Sand
some
it
like
off?
sparkle something. Yeah, it's like a maroon color with like sparkly little
Man, he's
stuff in
really
it.
doing this car up, huh?
Yeah, I think he already put like 800 into just random stuff that could be fixed into it. So it's crazy.
That's doubling the value of the car. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh, that makes me happy, though. It makes me happy that he's making good use of it.
No, yeah, and he
Um,
appreciates it greatly.
No, I'm glad. No, the worst part of the story would have been if you'd said, no, it lasted a month and now he's got a voodoo doll because he dislikes you. So I'm glad it's actually doing a good job. So
Yeah, for the price though, a month still would have been. It would have been.
yeah, but it still would have been kind of a dick move.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, other than that, I just wanted to ask about I'll send you the stuff for
Yeah, send
that,
me the
but that's
things,
all
yeah.
for me.
Sounds good, man. Okay, I will see you both then next week. Cody, you should look for some emails from me though, because I'll be sending them to the three of you, because I'm going to need you three to do your Bloomberg market concepts first. And the time
Okay.
you spend on that, that'll count for pay for you. So that can actually, you can get paid to finish the Bloomberg market concepts, since it's part of
Okay.
your job.
Cool.
Sounds
I'll
perfect.
see you next week then.
Okay, see you all.
Shoots.
Bye now. See ya.